Alright, so we're going to learn how to add some Bluetooth capability to an Arduino sketch. This will allow us to control it from a phone. There's actually a bunch of other stuff you could do with this. For example, you could control it with another Arduino. We won't get into that, at least right now. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using an external Bluetooth module, something called the HM10. And so you can see this is what it looks like here. You can buy it from different places. But this, I think, will be the closest thing to what we have going on here. We don't have the cover on it. There's also, you can see there's other ones like a HC05, HC06. I know that some of these things work and some of these things don't work depending on what you're trying to do. This one, the HM10, has Bluetooth 4.0 capability. And maybe some of these other ones, let's see, the 06 doesn't work with Bluetooth 4. You know, I don't know. I remember using these, trying to use these a while back, and that they didn't work in certain circumstances. It doesn't say here, so I'm not sure. Anyway, so we're going to look at Bluetooth, though. We're going to be using this, come back to here, this HM10 module, okay, which can do Bluetooth Low Energy, which is what we're using. And it says it's a UART module. So there's something called a Bluetooth UART, which is like a special. So in Bluetooth, the Bluetooth is created by something called the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, and it's designed to have like a lot of capabilities and be very flexible. And so the way that you communicate with devices is you have different services. Within those services, you have characteristics. And so, for example, let's say I have let's say I want to build a heart rate monitor that will connect to your phone over Bluetooth. And so I can use something called a heart rate service and have like the associated characteristics, so like the heart rate, maybe some other things that are associated with that, and they have a specified like format that you use. And this way, I can make a device that uses this this heart rate service, and will automatically work with phones that have the capability to talk to a device, or like phone apps that are designed to talk to like a device with the heart rate service. So that's basically what's going on. And then this UART service is kind of like a generic one where you can just send data back and forth, and you don't have to worry so much about the specific like formats of it, and you can define the formats yourself. And so it's a little bit more flexible. And so that's what this guy is here. And so it's its own microcontroller. It's a separate like processor on here, and it's doing its own computations. It's doing its own communication, and we're going to connect to it, and we're going to talk to it. So that's what these 4 pins are for. 2 of them are for power. The other 2 are for setting up what's called serial communication. It's the same thing we use to communicate with the computer of the serial monitor. We're going to have serial communication between this board and ourselves. And so what's going to happen is it's going to act as like a pass-through. So we're going to send data to it, and it's going to pass that data on to the phone that's connected to it, and vice versa. When the phone sends data to it, it's going to pass that data along to us inside of our sketch. However, there is a way that you can actually talk to this device, and so I'm going to pull up this right here. This is the data sheet for the HM10. I don't know if we're going to have the @ commands here. So yeah, you can communicate to it using something called @ commands. And so if we do a serial.print to this device, we can send some commands. For example, we can put it in like a sleep mode by typing in this command, and then you're supposed to send like a really long string to wake it up from sleep mode. We've got let's see, so you can do some control of it, but like if we had a built-in like a Bluetooth module on our device, we could probably have some more control here, but this one kind of doesn't let us do everything, but we can communicate using the 9600 rate with @ commands. And so basically it says the uppercase @ command format, string form without any other symbol, and then so we can only send @ commands when we're not connected. Okay, so if we try to send commands to control it and we're connected to a Bluetooth client, so like the phone, for example, it won't work, I guess. But here you can do some things, and specifically what I want to show is if you dig through here, you can actually change the device name. Okay, and so there'll be an option here for extra credit if you can figure out how to change your device name and get it to broadcast with that different name. Okay, but anyway, there's a lot of stuff here. This is optional to look at, but if you wanted to know more about how to work with one of these things, this is where you'd look, and I'll have that link available for you guys in the instructions. Okay, so coming back to here, we're going to be working from this, and so we're going to connect two LEDs, and we're going to look at controlling them over Bluetooth. We've got all these functions here, and we're going to see if we can run all these functions. Okay, and so this is going to be kind of like our starting spot. So you got all those functions down there. We've got our serial monitor set up, and this is kind of our starting point. So you can click add your sketchbook, or you can copy it. I'm actually going to show you a different tool that I use usually, and so this is something that you guys can try out. And so I'm going to open this up here. Get it to load. Okay, and so we're on my other screen. Okay, and so this is called Visual Studio Code. And so if you want to try this out, you can try this as well. You're going to want to go to this extensions page and add this platform IO extension. You just do install probably, and then it'll take probably a couple minutes the first time. After that, it's quicker. And then once it's installed, we can access this extension here, and we'll create a new project. Again, this is totally optional. We'll go new project. We'll go Arduino HM10. Okay, and then we'll select the Uno. And again, the first time you do this, it's going to take a long time. This time it'll go quicker because I've already done it before. But it has to do some downloading and some compiling in the background. I trust the authors. Okay, and so now I got my project here. And so all the code will be in the main app. And again, you don't have to do this, but if you want to try it out, you can. And so we're going to delete this, but we're going to leave that include Arduino.h at the top. Okay, so we got this here. You can see that it's already, so one of the benefits of this is it will tell us like when there's stuff wrong and things like that, whereas especially the web editor won't do that for us. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add to this our Bluetooth capabilities, and so we're going to include a library called software serial. And so we communicate with the Bluetooth device using serial communication, and this particular the Arduino Uno the R3 that we're using only has one serial output. And so a serial is like a hardware component that's designed for sending communication, so you can send data to it and it'll handle the communication like automatically. We can't do that. We have to use something called software serial that's going to do it for us in software. And so this is ideally not the best solution, but when you only have one serial port available or serial interface available, this is what we got to do. And so other boards will have like 3 or 4 of them. We just have the one. So I'm going to say Bluetooth serial, and what we're going to do is we're going to pass in the 2 pins. So we're going to connect it to pins 10 and 11. And then here, so we've got it passed in. We're going to say Bluetooth serial dot begin 9600. And if you want to try sending a command, the doesn't like that. Have a class type. Did I spell something wrong? No. Software serial. Let's try building. Here, we'll do this also. Char. Oop, don't want that. So we say char a equals 0. So this is our placeholder variable that's going to take in the values. And let's try building again. Okay, we're good. So whatever error it's giving me here, I'm going to refresh the window, see if that solves it. Okay, so we got our serial interface here. We can send data. If you want to try sending data to it, like an @ command, for example, to change the name, if you want to try for some extra credit, Bluetooth serial.print. And and you could do at, and then whatever like the at command is. Okay. And then, so from here though, we're getting that input. And so now we're going to add some code to read that input. So we're going to say if Bluetooth serial dot available then we're going to say a equals Bluetooth serial dot read, and it's going to read in that first character. And so what we're doing is we're checking to see if there's data available. If there is, we read it in. Okay, and then we want to make a decision. And so for now we'll go like this though. So we'll run this and we'll see what happens. We'll print out that value so we can see it. Okay, and so in the instructions it's going to show you how to set up the NRF Connect app, or the NRF Connect app, and that's what you'll be connecting with. You're going to look for the device advertising, and so some of them have like names, and so when you connect to it, so you can see mine right here. Let me see if I can get it up in the screen. You can see that light blink in there, and then when I connect to it, that light turns solid. When I disconnect, it starts blinking again. So once you're connected, you'll know that it's solid. You're going to have a bunch of different device names in here because we'll have a bunch of students working on this at the same time. And then from there, you can send data. We're going to select UTF-8 under write value, and we're going to send the number, or the character rather, 1. So if I look on the serial monitor here, I'm going to send the character 1. There you go. I'm going to send the character 4, and so on. Okay, I can actually send the number 1 as well. Nope, didn't like that. Yeah, so it looks like it's best if we do this UTF-8 option, and you'll see that in the instructions. But this way we can send commands to our device over Bluetooth. Okay, and then from there, we're going to do like a switch statement. So we'll say switch, and then we'll say A, and we'll do case 1, and then we say break, case 2, break, and then we'll say default. So this is our default case, where maybe it'll say and we'll just break. So this would be like our unknown command, for example. And so when you type in the number 1, it's going to call up this one, and so I'll say serial dot print case 1, got the case 2 there, and then what we'll do is we'll add another one. We'll say case 0, and that one will just do nothing. Okay, and then here what we can do is now we can say serial dot print. So we got an unknown command. So unknown command. And we'll pass in the value A. So run this, and then we're going to say down here, we're going to say A equals 0. So we'll reset it to the character 0. And so now it will change every time we get a value. Okay? And so it'll jump into the switch statement. If it's 0 still, it'll break out. Otherwise, we'll jump to any of these scenarios. Okay? Okay, unknown command. Oh, there you go. So let's go with, let's try sending something in. So I'm going to send in the character 3. So we got unknown command. We'll send in the character 2. And nothing happened. That's interesting. All right, let's try again. Oh, here we go. There we go, case 2. Okay, we'll add the ln on here. Okay, and so now you can really control this with your phone. So I'm sending those commands from the phone app right here. And you can add in more commands. You can send in letters as well. So you could have a case for the letter A, for example, if you wanted to. And so these are all characters. Just like that, you can add the letter B and so on. The one thing you'll notice is that each of these has a single quotation around it, and that's to indicate it's a character. And then so now the next step is to integrate all these functions. Now the one thing that you'll run into is this doesn't happen in the Arduino IDE, but it does happen in Platform.io. Let's say we want a case 1 to be lights off. Okay? When I run this function, it's not going to work because it says it wasn't declared in the scope, even though it's down here. So technically in C and C++, we have to do something called for declaring with a function prototype. And so we tell it about this lights off function so that it knows about it here, and then we access it here. And so if you're doing this in Platform.io, you have to go back and you have to add all the prototypes here for it to work. If you're doing this just in the regular Arduino IDE, this won't be an issue for you. Okay, just comes up in Platform.io. You can see that solved the problem there. Okay, it worked. All right, and so this is kind of just an overview of some of the Bluetooth capabilities. And so from here, you'll be setting up this Bluetooth HM10 module, and you'll be controlling it using your phone.